boating industry. I have the fishing industry. I have state fish and wildlife agencies. I have the federal government. And I have this other group called the Sport Fish Boating Partnership Council, which is about 50 people from conservation, tribes, you name it, all across the spectrum of things, all fishing, boating, conservation in this country. And I have to satisfy those five groups. The boating and fishing industry want to know what I'm going to do for the next quarter. The government wants to know when I'm going to get that next report to them. The council thinks we should be doing everything exactly opposite of what I'm doing. But the state fish and wildlife agencies appreciate the work we do. And I would say they are our best partners and the ones that work with us the most. On this access project that I'm talking about here, we have over 40 agencies supplying us with data. And we have a number of products that we put out that the states can use. And 48 states are using 2 or more of the products we put out there. So they're really engaging with us. We have Laura McLean here from AFWA. Tell Ron I said thank you again. But youth. We were not spending a lot of our budget on youth initiative, and that changed over the last couple of years. What we're really focusing on, again, the website is a great place for families to find the information they need to get out of the water. But we have other programs too. Angler's Legacy. This program takes the avid angler, okay, and it says give back. And when we started in February of '07, our new regime got together, we had 984 people who were taking the pledge to take someone fishing. Okay? Today we have 260,000 people who have taken the pledge to take someone fishing. And on average, they take 4 people fishing. And for those scientists in the room, they take an average of almost 2 more than a non-ambassador who is also an avid angler. It's called lift in scientific terms. So we had there was a feeling that, this program, everybody takes people fishing. Well, no, these guys take more. They generate $530 more in equipment and sales and licenses and lures, et cetera, and so forth, than a non-ambassador. So again, monetize the value of this program to the industry. And 73% of those people that take fishing are under the age of 18. So this is a program that really leads toward the future. And if none of you in here have taken the pledge, I encourage you to go to takemefishing.org or anglerslegacy.org to take the pledge to take someone fishing. Partnership with Discovery Education. One of the things that we thought that was paramount was to get fishing, boating, conservation into the schools. So we're working with Discovery Education, which many of you know as the Discovery Channel, with a program called Explore the Blue, which is an online program that gives teachers, parents, and students information about how they can bring fishing, boating, and conservation into the classroom. And it is geared and approved with all the standards of learning in all 50 states. That's what Discovery brings to the table, the expertise of the curriculum. We bring to the table the content that they use in that curriculum. And this program just really launched in September. And so far, 70,000 kids have participated in the activities of the Explore the Blue program. So educate, explore, family. So again, you can go to exploretheblue.com and find out more information about this. We believe the goal for this program is to introduce this to 1.2 million kids when it's fully implemented in its 3rd year. This is a 3-year partnership with Discovery Education, and they're great people to work with. They're promoting this program through their avenues. We're providing the content. They're providing the delivery, the marketing, and advertising. This is one of our legacy programs. When I came to RBFF, this was a program that was developed in 2003 by my predecessor, a great program called Passport to Fishing and Boating. It's youth-focused. It takes them through 6 stations on fishing, boating, conservation. They even have a little plastic boat. They learn where the front of the boat is, the back of the boat. They learn how to tie knots, and they learn how to identify fish and stuff like that. And from '03 to '07, 250 of these kids were put out into the field. They spent a lot of money developing this project. If somebody's looking at 250, that's a pretty good number. You're right. So what we did, we revised the program, we made it an online program, and in the last 6 months, 2,000 of these kids have been put in the field, and 92,000 kids have gone through this program. So finally, that investment is paying off. Boy Scouts. You know, Boy Scouts have fishing merit badges and all this stuff. And to get a merit badge, you've got to need an act of Congress and more. But when they go to their camps and they go to the big Jubilee they have every year, they have patch programs where they actually trade these patches. So we got involved in this. And, so far this year, 12,000 Boy Scouts have earned their passport patch, their first catch patch, and a lot of the older Boy Scouts have become mentors and taken the Anglo-Saxon approach where they're mentoring the youth in their scout troops. We also give out grants. Okay, we give out grants to the National Recreation Parks Association. We then distribute those grants to local parks that are members of theirs. The YMCA and the International Game and Fish Association, who runs a great program in Florida and was expanding that program now. 140,000 kids will go through these programs this year. And we also work with a group called Outdoor Nation, which really focuses on 15 to 21-year-olds to try to see how we get the older generation of kids involved in these activities. We're currently surveying them to judge their interest in fishing. So, what does this all mean? Partnership between the boating industry, the fishing industry, states, federal government, Sport Fish Boating Partnership Council, RBFF, in the last couple of years have generated 1.4 million newcomers and youth introduced to the sport, almost 5 fishing licenses. And those of you that work in state agencies, you know that the fishing license revenue is extremely important to state agencies because between that and sport fish money, that's all they get to take care of water resources and the creatures that live within. $22 million generated for state conservation efforts, $85 million generated for the boating and fishing industry, on an investment of about $24 million. So if you do the math on that, that's not quite as good as 27 to 1, but it's getting there. And the question I was asked when I first came to RBFF is, what has been done with all the money, what value do you bring? So we've tried to answer that in the last couple of years. So with that, Derek, I don't know if I'm on time or not, but it will change, but I'll open up if anybody has any questions.
We have time for one question, and then we'll roll into our next panel. Any questions? Frank will be around, and we'll be able to talk about some of the channels they're pursuing and how to work in partnership with all of us. So, Bruce?
On the applications and the internet access to regular fishing, is that monetized through advertising, or is there some way that you're making money off of that?
Not yet, but it is certainly something that we're going to explore. We do have some sponsors and partners that we're just starting to get. The main thing is first to get all the information, to get it out there, to get it in a consistent format from state to state. The other thing that I failed to mention with that, which is another exciting part of the project, is that we can make that mapping feature not only available to all the devices and apps and websites, but we can make that map feature available to any partner that wants it. For example, part of the allure of the states working with us is they get a map back of their state with all that information. So it's a similar contact. It's almost like a McDonald's franchise. You buy a hamburger here, you buy one in Virginia. It tastes the same. It's not necessarily good for you, but it tastes the same. Here we're trying to get some sort of similarity from one state to the next to how they promote and pass out this information on places to local fishing. But that is someplace that it is valuable. I can tell you it will be more valuable as we move forward.
Thank you, Frank. One thing I note is that Frank's good work is directly associated with the future of recreation.gov. We need to understand how the two kinds of efforts can in fact integrate and provide the American public with the information that they need. You know, back in 1987, George H.W. Bush said to some of us when we were explaining the problems in terms of finding out where to go camping or where to go hiking. He said, well, what you're telling me, it's almost as if all of our public lands have a fence around them with a gate that's locked. And it's a virtual fence, and it's a virtual gate with a lock, but it still is a significant problem for us, and we really need to think about that.